Let's read at the library. Okay.
Hi everyone, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel. Today is such an exciting TBR. You already know because you can read and it's in the title. This month's TBR game is inspired by Cody and her wheel of TBR. Obviously the originals will be linked up above and down below. Yeah, her wheel of TBR is an OG, just like Becca's Bookopoly. They're my favorite TBRs to watch always. Like, I love the wheel of TBR because, you know, we're like quarantined and you really shouldn't be going out to buy things that aren't necessary. Our wheel is virtual, so it's kind of not as exciting. So I've taken the, I think, 12 original prompts that Cody came up with for her wheel, as well as kind of watched a few to get the like replacement prompts. If you're familiar with Cody's wheel of TBR, you know that after she spins, she replaces whatever category she got last with like a new challenge. And instead of doing that, I just made my wheel have more categories on it. So if I get something twice, I'm gonna respin. Like if I get big book and then spin big book again, I'm not gonna read two big books, I'm just gonna respin the second one. But I think it should work out okay. The only hitch is that I have a couple of galleys to read, so we'll get to that. But I also have two readathons that I want to partake in June. The first is the Olympic Games readathon, which is inspired by the Percy Jackson books, and that's very exciting because the whole Percy Jackson fandom is just like living right now. I personally, this is gonna be embarrassing, you guys, I'm gonna admit it, I didn't read Percy Jackson as a kid. I read the first book last year and also the second book last year, so I haven't even finished the series. But I absolutely love the Lightning Thief musical. Like, it is so good. It's precious. I love it. I saw it live and it was everything I dreamed of and more. So I highly recommend giving that a listen. And then I also want to participate in the Make Your MythTaker readathon. So for the Olympic readathon, you pick like your godly parent and do their prompts. I've chosen Hestia, right? And then for the Make Your MythTaker readathon, there are lots of different like paths you can take depending on what sort of character you want to create. And I have chosen a monarch. I would like to be a queen, thank you. And you can like do multiple paths and like stack them. So like you could do the queen stuff and then do the fairy stuff and be like, I'm a fairy queen. I already have enough on my TBR, so I'm just gonna stick to a queen. That sounds great to me. Just be like a general human monarch. That's cool. But yeah, so we have to work all of those prompts into whatever the wheel gives us. And we're gonna spin it 6 times because that's what we've been doing for all of this. Are we ready? I'm terrified. Let's go. So I would just screen record it, but my laptop is acting up and it won't let me screen record. So we're just gonna spin it, show you it's real, and then I'll show you up close. Okay, are we ready? Click. I wonder what we'll get. I wonder what we'll get. Okay, well, right off the bat, can you see? Twitter pick. So what this means is that I will choose 2 books, put them up on Twitter, and you guys will pick what I read. I think my plan for this is to use one of the MythTaker prompts, which is for me to read a queen main character. And so I also intended to do this for my nonfiction book for the month. I've been trying to read at least one nonfiction every month. So I'll let you guys pick on Twitter whether you want me to read about Catherine de Medici, which is the one I had in mind for this prompt, or I think I have on Hoopla one of Allison, what's her name? I'm gonna sound like an idiot not remembering her name. Allison Weir, is that her name? Like her Medieval Queens book is available, so you can pick if I'm learning about French or English medieval queens? Okay, so go check out my Twitter, Jill Shakespeare, and vote to let me know. Okay, so that's spin number 1. Oh look, and there's also a prompt that says remove. So we're gonna take Twitter pick right off of there. So we'll get our next prompt. Ooh. Second chance book. So second chance book means either a book that I started and didn't finish, or I'm also counting this as like a second chance author dealio. So I'll have to think about that one. You might think I'm cheating with my choice, but you know what? It's my TBR and I don't really care what you think. This is my reading and this is my channel and my rules. So take that. I've grabbed Dear Sister, which is Sweet Valley High number 7. So here's the deal. When I was younger, I was obsessed with the Wakefield twins. I wanted to be both of them collectively. Like, I'm much more of an Elizabeth, but you know, like, when you're an Elizabeth, you want to be a Jessica. Like, it just sounds so fun to be like popular and flirtatious and whatever. But I'm the nerdy twin, okay? Let's be real. But regardless, I did not read every single Sweet Valley book because, oh my god, there's so many. There's Sweet Valley High and Sweet Valley Junior High and Sweet Valley Kids and like 1,000 books in all of them. But a little while back, I was on Etsy and I was just looking at all these old copies that people were selling and I was like, I want them. I want to be nostalgic. So really, this isn't so much as giving this specific book a second chance, but it's about giving Sweet Valley High a second chance in my adulthood to see if I love it as much as I did when I was like a younger person. How old was I even when I was reading these? I probably started younger than I should have. But yes, this one should be great. It is called Dear Sister. It says, can Jessica face life without Elizabeth? And what happens is that Elizabeth Wakefield was in a horrible motorcycle accident and she's in a coma. Spoilers, before the first chapter is done, she wakes up from that coma. So I don't know what the drama is going to be, but can't wait. So we are removing second chance book. On to spin number 3. Sorry about the reflection. It's hard to work in these conditions. Ooh, I like it. Short read. We can definitely make that work. Definitely. For short read, I'm actually going to be picking a play because 1, plays are a lot shorter than novels, and 2, I plan on using this for both readathons. So I'm going to be reading Mother's Daughter by, insert author's name here, wish I could remember it. She's a female Canadian author, I know that much. And this is a play about, I believe, Mary Tudor, Bloody Mary. But we're going to use it because it works for the highest rated prompt for the MythTaker readathon, which the fact that the highest rated book on my TBR is a play about Tudor history just really gets me excited. And we're also going to use it for the Olympic readathon, something published in the last 5 years, because it is. Next. All right, removing short read. Oops, I right-clicked on it. Spin again. 3 more spins. Ooh. Lowest rated. So we're gonna have to go on Goodreads and take a look at that. For the lowest rated book, I'm like concerned that this is rated so low. This is Mary B. by Catherine J. Chen. This is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but it's centered around Mary Bennet, obviously the most unsung of the Bennet sisters. That's not true. I think Kitty is the most unrecognized of the Bennet sisters. No one cares about Kitty, let's be honest. She's just like Lydia's sidekick. I'm sorry, Kitty. and you're older than her and you're a sidekick. How sad is that? But yeah, this has terrible ratings. I think it has like an average rating of less than 3 stars, which is painful, and I don't even know how that happens. So honestly, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think this cover is stunning. I am not like a Pride and Prejudice purist. Like, it's not my favorite Jane Austen novel, so I'm not gonna go like absolutely bananas if they want to change anything. And I don't know, it's intriguing to me. We'll see. All right, here's spin number 5. Sorry, this isn't really as exciting as a physical wheel. We gotta make it work, you guys. Oh, can you see it? Please focus. Classic! For a classic novel, you're going to think, this girl's an idiot. But this was a part of my plan. Like, Kara and I already decided this was happening. I made my bed. I have to lie in it. I was able to successfully read Anna Karenina in 1 month. So who's to say that I can't read War and Peace in 1 month? Even though it's bigger and the font is smaller. And I'm afraid. Okay, so I read Anna Karenina in April. I low-key think it might have changed my life, even though I rated it 3 stars at the time. I'm losing my marbles. But this one I think I'm gonna love even more because Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812 is a musical based on War and Peace, part of War and Peace. And it's literally my favorite musical. Like, it's just the best. It's the best one out of all the musicals. So I think I'm gonna be very attached to these characters and the things that happen. And I'm so afraid of reading this. I'm so afraid. Okay, our 6th and final spin. Let's see what we get. Ooh. Booktuber Recommendation. Alrighty then. The last wheel of TBR prompt is a Booktuber Recommendation, and luckily I already had one of those planned for my readathon prompts, so take that. I really wanted to listen to the audiobook, but sadly, for some reason, my library's apps have like removed the audiobook, so I can still read the ebook. I don't own it, but it is A Dash of Trouble, which is the first book in the Love, Sugar, Magic series. Jocelyn from Yogi with a Book, excuse me, I'm gonna burp, talks about this book all the time and the whole series. She just loves it, and I keep saying I mean to read it because it sounds so cute. So I'm finally going to do that. We're going to use it for the Make Your MythTaker readathon as a book that has red, gold, or purple on the cover because those are the colors of royalty. And am I also using it for the Olympic readathon? Yes, I am. A middle grade book. Perfect. Okay, so moving on to books that are on my TBR but are not a part of the wheel TBR. So we did pretty good in fitting in a few that I already planned on reading, so yay. There's one remaining prompt for the Make Your MythTaker readathon on my track, which is to reread a favorite. So I'm going to continue with my reread of the Hunger Games series and reread Catching Fire, which for a long time was my favorite of the trilogy. I think it might be the Hunger Games now, but maybe when I reread this, this will continue to be my favorite. So who knows? I'm very excited. Oh, and with the new book coming out, it's just like, ah! It's very exciting. Peeta Malark. Peeta Malark. Okay. Okay, we have quite a few more things to get through for the Olympic Games readathon. The Found Family prompt, I'm going to read Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. Okay, I'm so excited. This is the 3rd book in the Diviners series. Is the 4th book that came out the last book? Okay, that stressed me out. This has surprisingly small font, so I may listen to it as an audiobook. That's how I've been reading the series so far, and I just love the audiobooks, so that might be the way to continue, particularly with War and Peace sitting next to me and intimidating me. Can you see this stack of books? Move. But yeah, I love every character in this book, especially Jericho, So there's that. If you don't know about the Diviners, it's a series set in 1920s New York, centered around diviners, who are people who have like kind of mystical psychic powers, and supernatural paranormal shenanigans happen. It's spooky and it's fun and I love it. Another one of the Hestia prompts is to read the oldest book on your TBR, which suits me great because that's already a project that I'm working on. So the book that I'm supposed to be reading for this prompt in June is Room by Emma Donoghue. This is another one that I might choose to listen to as an audiobook, just depending on how I'm feeling in the mood. But yeah, I've seen the movie, so I kind of know what to expect, but I'm very intrigued because the book is written from the son's point of view, and I'm curious what that will be like, because I'm very picky about child characters, so we'll see. I forgot to mention a couple of these being involved in my Hestia prompts. Catching Fire is going to be for continuing a series. I mean, it's rereading a series, but it's still continuing it, so I think that counts. And blue cover, I'm counting War and Peace because I have another edition that has a blue cover, and there's blue on the cover, it's just not totally blue. I think it counts. And then for the last of the Olympic game prompts on my list, we have read a book in one spot. It doesn't have to be like one continuous sitting, but just read in the same spot. So Titus Andronicus by Will Shakespeare. If you follow me and you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I'm reading a Shakespeare play every month, and I'm reading them kind of in chronological order, kind of in chronological order of like when they were first performed. So this is up next. I have never read Titus Andronicus. All I know is that people say it's crazy, and also that I think things get a little bit Sweeney Todd at one point. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And if you don't, good for you. Oh my gosh. So I'm really excited about this. I still have 2 more things to talk about because I have a couple of galleys. Ooh, she fancy. Reading things early. Okay. So the first one I have is Cinderella is Dead, which I am going to be buddy reading with Helen from Pages and Peaches. So excited about that. We both got approved. Wow. And I'm very intrigued by this. It's like, I don't fully remember the synopsis, but it's like a world. It seems like kind of like Selection-ish in a good way. I didn't hate the Selection. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But maybe like a little more dark. I'm just so intrigued, okay? And then I also have a galley for Mayhem, which I also don't know a ton about. I believe it's like a retelling, or it's like inspired by The Craft and something else. But I think it's set in the 80s, and I think it's low fantasy, and I think it's gonna be dark and dramatic and twisted, so that'll be a fun time too. Alright, so those are the 12 books that I'm going to try to read in June. 12 doesn't sound like that big of a number compared to what I've been reading, but I feel like some of these books are very big and I'm scared, but excited. There's like a lot of books here that I'm really excited about. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram because I take really, I think, pretty bookish photos. Follow me on Twitter, where you can see me try to get a job as a SparkNotes Twitter intern. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out Cody's original Wheel of TBR videos because they're amazing, so creative, so fun. We can only aspire, you know? Thank you all so much for watching, and you'll see more from me soon. Bye!